Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's What's Up Wednesday. My name is Rachel, and I am on the client support team here at Early Learning Ventures. And today I am joined by Dawn Alexander. Dawn is the executive director at the Early Childhood Education Association, or ECEA. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dawn.
Thank you for having me, Rachel.
Yeah, exciting. Thank you for everyone who's watching live. If you're just joining in, again, my name is Rachel. I'm joined by Dawn today. Let us know where you are watching from. Thanks. Hi, Tammy. Tammy's watching from Hawaii. Go ahead and drop a comment. I like to see those where everybody is watching from, or just say hello. Thank you for joining us. If you've not heard of Early Learning Ventures before, we are a 501c3 nonprofit based out of Colorado. And our mission is to expand access to quality and affordable childcare. One of the ways we are focusing our efforts on improving the quality of early childhood programs is by offering resources and sharing knowledge through these weekly What's Up Wednesday videos. These videos are live on Facebook every Wednesday at 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And each week I meet with somebody who can share knowledge and resources that maybe you, your team, or the families that you work with might benefit from. So if you're watching live, you'll have a chance to ask questions in the chat, interact with us. We'll be watching out for your questions. I've got the video up here on my phone as well, just so that I don't miss anything. But let us know if you have questions throughout, and we'll get to those. And thank you. Thanks for everyone who's commenting. Hi, everyone. It's fun to see where everyone's watching from. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. We were just talking about that. Where are you located, John?
Degree weather, so
yeah.
take that into consideration.
Yeah, we were talking about the weather. It's nice and warm here where I'm at. I've got my summer clothes out already, and those of you in Colorado are a lot colder right now. Sorry. All right. Dawn, why don't you start us off by just telling us a little bit about yourself and your role with the Early Childhood Education Association?
Thank you. So, wow, I've been in early childhood for a few years. So, I have 3 kids, and when my oldest was at daycare at a center, and every day I would go at lunchtime and pat him on the back and put him to sleep. And then his sister came along, and I was doing the same, just kind of splitting attention between the two of them during my lunch breaks every day. And decided at that point, like, why am I out here doing this when I could be home with them instead? And so our family made the commitment to become a licensed family child care provider. And in the end, ended up raising my 3 kids there under that licensed home. And so it was really quite an adventure for us. And then one day I was in my backyard and I had the 6 kids there, and it dawned on me, like, none of them belonged to me. So decided at that point to do something different, and became a licensing specialist for a little over 2.5 years. And then from there went to Weld County's health department and worked under a contract there in the health department, supporting FFNs to become qualified exempt and for them to become licensed if they wanted to be. And then COVID hit. And so I was at the health department and was able to support all of Weld County. Anytime they had issues or questions about COVID, they would call me, and I was able to provide support from the department. So from that work, I was contacted by the president of the board for ECEA, and they decided to hire me. So it's been an interesting journey. We're coming up, this June will be 3 years, which is unbelievable. I cannot believe it's gone by so quickly.
That's amazing.
But ECEA is a trade association, and I'm the executive director of that organization. And so we support all licensed programs statewide in Colorado.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. You've had a little bit of experience in everything, huh?
Yeah. It's good, though.
Today, you're going to tell us all about the new infant and toddler orientation. So why don't you introduce us to that?
Yeah. So we really want to find gaps in the industry to provide some supports around. And so for us, it was pretty clear that one of those gaps was with the infant and toddler orientations that happen on site for programs. We had heard from directors their frustration around the fact that it wasn't really providing the kind of information and stability and support that they wanted for their programs. So a lot of directors would set up the criteria. Here's what you're going to train on, and they'd check in and everything's going well, and then they leave the room, and then the conversation turns to what happened at your aunt's house this weekend instead of what needs to be done for quality care for infants and toddlers. And so we knew that we could provide a product that would make a difference for programs, but our greatest hope is that this will make a great difference for the infant and toddler staff statewide in Colorado. We know that there's a 30% turnover rate in that part of our industry. It's the highest turnover positions that we have. And so we believe that if we can provide really specific support for those professionals right from day one, support around compliance, support around quality interactions with children, support around professionalism in this new, scary, intense role, like that we can help them feel more competent and potentially retain them longer in these positions. So that's really ultimately what we're trying to do.
Awesome. I can't wait to talk more about that. And then the Bright Foundation, you started a foundation, right? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so as we've been building over the last almost 3 years at ECEA, our primary role there is to be an advocacy organization. So a lot of you may have heard of us through our weekly ECEA childcare update that we send out. We try to consolidate all of the relevant information in the industry into that weekly update that we send to everyone, member or not, so they get the information that they need to be able to make the decisions that they need to be able to make as a business. And so we do that. We've got an annual conference that we're doing. We brought a coach on through Circle funding. So Peggy has been with us since the beginning of Circle, and she built out a compliance training that is extremely popular statewide. And so she goes out and does those trainings for people on site with their programs. And as we started building out these opportunities and supports for the industry, we're like, we need a different place to house these. So we decided to create the ECEA Bright Foundation so that we could pursue funding supports for the services that we offer. Now, the foundation makes those services available to everyone statewide. It's not limited to a membership. And it's brand new, so we're just starting to build that out. But we are pursuing grant funding to support some of those trainings so that we can make as many trainings as possible free of charge or very low cost, whatever we can do there. And ultimately, we can receive child care tax contribution credits from individuals or corporations to support specific projects or efforts to support the industry.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, you guys are doing a lot. I'm going to put the link to the Bright Foundation in the chat here in this video. So for anyone watching, whether you're live or watching later, you can click on that link to learn more. So can you tell us what will the infant and toddler orientation look like as far as timeline, scheduling, and cost?
You know, this is a great day because we just finished our first one. So what we want to do is make this available every single week because we know that people in the industry are continually hiring new people into these roles. And so what you need from us as an industry is stability, consistency in having that option open and available. So every Tuesday and Wednesday, it's a 2-part training. So every Tuesday and Wednesday from 8 to 11, we have the live portion of the training where virtually they would attend. And they get tons of training in those 3 areas that we spoke about, the compliance, quality interactions, and professionalism. And then they have homework after that first session. They have to go do 1 hour of observation in the infant room and 1 hour of observation in their toddler room. And then they're provided with a very specific site-specific checklist that they have to complete so that they know where everything is in their program like floor thermometers or first aid kits, like all of those different things that come up that you need to know where they are. And then they wrap it up on Wednesday with our staff again, and then they have completed the training. And the great part about it is we did the work of getting this approved by the state. It is the only alternate pathway for that on-site infant and toddler orientation. So licensing and even the EQIT team have all endorse this, have approved this, and so it's a part of PDIS, and so you can register there so that your certificate automatically uploads, and then we actually it requires payment, which is $60 for that training, and so you would contact either Peggy or Kim for that piece of it, and they will get you scheduled for whatever date you want your staff member scheduled for, collect payment, and get everything situated.
I have Kim's contact information here. I'll put that in the chat as well. So if anyone has any questions, you can contact Kim. So congratulations. That's so exciting. I love that we're doing this recording the first week that you guys are just kicking this off.
It's wonderful. We're pretty excited about it. So
yeah. Let's see. We have a few comments in the chat. Amy is asking, how many programs is the Bright Foundation working with at this point?
So the foundation is open to working with any licensed program statewide. So
no membership required there.
Right. And so some of our offerings, it includes the infant and toddler orientation. We've started using Pyramid. So we're training Pyramid under that. We are actually training the Early Childhood Seniors Service Corps volunteers. And so we'll be doing EQIT for them and Pyramid for them specifically, that sort of thing. So compliance training, all of that. Actually, the compliance training we're keeping right now at at ECEA. We're still working out the logistics between the organizations. The foundation ultimately contracts with ECEA to provide the training supports for these functions. So yeah, it's a new thing, but it's very exciting, and we can't wait to build it out and to provide support for the industry.
I love that. We can't wait to watch it grow.
Thanks.
Amy is asking also, how many training hours do they receive for this orientation?
So it's approved for the full 8-hour orientation that they're required to have for the state. So it will cover that.
Awesome. And how is this orientation different from what already exists?
So what exists right now is different from program to program to program, right? So we've got that commitment that every program has to make before they can have their staff start in those infant and toddler rooms. They have to have an 8-hour orientation. And so this meets that need, and it meets it consistently across every program, right? So you can expect something very consistent in that instead of something that's different from place to place.
Okay, thank you. How do you envision this orientation program contributing to the overall quality and safety of childcare for infants and toddlers in our community? I know you already touched a little bit on the turnover rate. What are your thoughts on that?
But there's also, so as Peggy's been going out and doing the compliance trainings, she always makes that very site specific, right? So she goes into the history of violations for that organization so that she can train to the specific issues that program has had historically, as well as the broader compliance concerns. And so as she's done that, it's become blaringly obvious that a lot of the violations are in the infant and toddler rooms, where staff is like, we just didn't know we were supposed to do all of that, right? So we believe we can contribute to the safety of those classrooms by really establishing that foundational information for everyone so that every professional working in those settings knows what they need to know, and can really be effective in their role.
Thank you. Yeah. We have another question asking if there is grant funding for the orientation. I know we talked about that a little bit. You did mention that the cost right now is $60 for the orientation. Right. Do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Great question. I appreciate you asking. We have applied for a grant. We were supposed to know already, but they've had so many submissions and stuff that they're delaying their notifications till probably the third week of March is when we should expect to hear on that. We're always looking for opportunities to support that, so we'll see what else we can come up with. But we didn't want to wait on it. We had programs that love the other products that we've offered, and they're like, please just start it so we can engage. And so that's why we kicked it off this week.
Good. Well, do you have anything else to add, Dawn? You've shared a lot with us today.
Just that we will make sure that in our ECEA childcare updates that we have every week, that we put any details about those there. Also on the website at the foundation, you can find information on these on that site as well. If you have questions, like general questions about that, you can reach out to Peggy or Kim, or if you need to speak with me, you're welcome to reach out as well. We're just doing everything we can to try and make things easier on every program out there.
Thank you. We definitely appreciate your support, and thanks for sharing with us. I do have the link for the foundation in the description of the video and in the chat.
If you don't, and one other thing, if you don't have our ECEA childcare update, if you're not on that list, just go to our website at www.coloradoecea.org. I'm like, wait, what is it? So that you can go to the bottom of the page and just sign up for the newsletter there.
I'm going to add that one here in the chat as well. Thank you. I was just going to ask that next. How can we sign up for that newsletter? Tammy says, thank you so much for sharing. It's so nice to hear what other states are doing. Tammy's watching from Hawaii.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching live. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube to watch out for future videos and resources. Check out all the links that we've got here in the comments and in the description. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, Dawn.
Thanks for having me, Rachel. I hope you guys have a great day.
Thanks. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.